Till the Puritans didn't come to the New World for religious freedom. The Protestant Separatists left Holland because of too much religious freedom, since the country allowed Judaism and Catholicism and even atheism. They wanted the religious freedom to shit on every other religion. Are there any misconceptions about the Puritans? Even in public schools, the Puritans are always the bad guys in the Salem witch trials, the Scarlet Letter. Even the word puritanical is pejorative today. Most of what we'd call Puritans, a term of abuse at the time more so that today, actually, would have come to what became the US directly from England, not via the Dutch Republic. Yeah, this is something you definitely learn about in seminary. The Puritans were intolerant douchebags that threw a temper tantrum and left England. Which was nice of them. If only the intolerant assholes would up and leave America. The title is misleading. The Puritans wanted to resist Catholicism, which it saw the Church of England growing closer to. There were two groups. One wanted reform from within, one wanted to separate. The Separatists went to the New World. The Separatists left because they were being persecuted for not being of the Church of England. Puritans denounced parts of English culture such as letting a dog attack a chained bear, along with other favorite pastimes of the English, which furthered their persecution. https://www.khanacademy.org/humanities/us history/colonial America/colonial North America/a/Puritan New England Plymouth. The Puritans were a bunch of religious fanatics who didn't fit anywhere. Their idea of religious freedom is the same as Puritans today. Freedom for me to shove my religion onto you. Likewise, when certain American Christians use the term today, religious freedom continues to be an Orwellian euphemism for theocracy. They were the friggin' Taliban of their day. Puritan ministers ensured that the Bible was used to dictate their legal ordinances and laws as well as guide their religious doctrine. Punishment did not necessarily fit the crime. A man found guilty for speaking out against his minister could have a hole bored into his tongue. Someone who failed to attend church could be sentenced to having their ear cut off. Women that did not obey their husband or minister could be banished from the colony. In the mid-1600s, Quakers were hanged simply for setting foot in the colony. https://history collection. Co/religious persecutions in colonial New England caused immense humiliation/. They want the freedom to be free of other religions. To be fair, the word freedom has never been more bastardized than it has by Americans. Troops fighting for your freedom, in what way is Ho Chi Minh setting up a communist government in Vietnam impact my freedom, living in the Pennsylvania suburbs? How does shooting a bunch of Iraqis and deposing their dictator make me any more or less free? The land of the free, except if you want to drink a beer in public, or place a wager on a game, or bang a hooker. Pure nonsense. Puritans were just the Westboro Baptists of their day, and we need to stop treating them as pioneers bravely escaping religious persecution. They came to the US because they wore out their welcome in literally every other place in the known world. So once again American history was edited to make them seem like the freedom-loving, eagle pushers they are. The Puritans were exiled after losing the final round of the English Civil War. They ruled England as dictatorship for 20 years, pissed everyone off with their endless religious bullshit. r/title gore. And America's been full of shit ever since. It annoys perfectionists when you write post titles like this. I don't know about Holland, but the article says that the Puritans were pissed about Rhode Island allowing Catholicism, Judaism, and atheism. In fact, Holland/the Netherlands isn't even mentioned in the article. So I don't know where Op got his title from. Those were strange ideas in 17th century Massachusetts. Williams was arrested and banished. He fled south, bought land from the Indians, and started a colony called Providence, Camera. It would become the capital of Rhode Island, Camera. In Roger Williams's time it attracted many who were not wanted elsewhere, especially those who were searching for freedom of conscience, the freedom to believe and worship as they wished. Williams welcomed everyone, Quakers and Catholics, Jews and atheists, even when he disagreed with their religion. Centuries later, a biographer named Edmund Morgan wrote this about Williams's ideas: "We may praise him for his defense of liberty and the separation of church and state. He deserves the tribute, but it falls short of the man. His greatness was simpler. He dared to think. Never thought about it, but the Puritans were like a 17th century Jim Jones cult going off to the woods to cult. Everything I was taught in middle school/high school ends up being a lie or propaganda, my goodness, lol. America was founded by prudes. America was founded by close-minded xenophobes. Yeah, that math tracks. Some people fled for religious freedom. Anabaptists, for instance, were heavily persecuted by the Roman Catholic Church. They'd find somewhere that was groovy and let them chill, then the Roman Catholic Church would find out and strong-arm them out each and every time, sometimes using very brutal methods. They weren't alone. Anywhere the Roman Catholic Church had control, other religions were forced to flee. This country was founded by slave owners who wanted to be free. George Carlin. My understanding is that in England, their practices were considered heretical, and the co still had dominion. But when it came to Holland, it became not so much about the freedom to worship how they wanted, but also the freedom to follow their religion without influences from others. It wasn't freedom to do what they wanted, it was freedom from other people doing what those people wanted. In that second sense, Holland was arguably a step down from England, where culture, despite not being as rigid as the Puritans, was certainly a bit more rigid than Holland's. Clearly Holland's reputation for hedonism/libertinism is long-lived, smiley face, plus CA change, plus c'est la meme chose, with today's don't want them gay marriages ruining ours type attitudes. The Puritans left Europe so they could found a land where they could oppress religion freely. At least, that's what I was taught. Which is why these freaks even today think religious freedom is discriminating against gay people. This might be part of the reason the US is fucked up today. Yes, religion, the root of all evil. The Puritans loved freedom of religion so much that they kept it all for themselves. I'm not free unless you aren't free. I remember thinking that was one of the most interesting factoids she used and thinking, wow, that's gonna piss some people off. Yeah, they didn't want religious freedom, they wanted a fundamentalist Puritan theocracy. This and the plantation elites of the Carolinas playing the poorer whites, blacks, and Native Americans off against each other goes a long way to explain the character of the modern USA. I thought this was common knowledge. America was colonized by religious extremists, which is probably why it tends to be very conservative and ultra-religious, overall excluding parts of the coasts, vs a much more liberal Europe. They wanted freedom to be intolerant of others' beliefs. Too much tolerance to be tolerated. Now this makes more sense. They left England because they were a bunch of overbearing assholes and no one liked them. So they went to Holland and were a bunch of overbearing asshole and no one liked them there either. So they went to America. And that's where all our many overbearing assholes came from. Banned in Boston since 1630. How many other lies have I been told by the Jedi? We used to look at Puritan magazine in the 80s, what did big bushes have to do with religion? They were theocratic absolutists who wanted to be a city on a hill or New Jerusalem. They didn't want their children intermingling with others, so they created their own insular society. America was a known provider of free real estate, and nobody was going to miss them.